Welcome to World Buzz Bulletin. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of January, 2026. As the third week of the new year unfolds, the global stage is dominated by two haunting conflicts that continue to scar our collective conscience. In both the Middle East and Eastern Europe, the struggle for survival has reached a critical juncture, as innocent civilians bear the weight of unrelenting aggression and systemic collapse. We begin tonight with the devastating situation in the Palestinian territories. Following the events of January 19th, the humanitarian abyss in Gaza and the WestBank has reached a point of absolute catastrophe. Reports from the ground indicate that the total death toll since the escalation began has now surpassed a harrowing 71,500 lives lost. In the last 48 hours alone, despite talk of a fragile peace initiative, new bodies have been recovered from the rubble of residential blocks. The reality of what many describe as continuous terror attacks has left a population of millions in a state of terminal vulnerability. Furthermore, the number of Palestinians held in detention centers has surged to over 9,300, including hundreds of children, many held without charge or trial. This human tragedy is now being compounded by a brutal winter. Severe storms have flooded displacement camps, and the heartbreaking report of children dying from hypothermia has sent shockwaves through the international community. With 37 major aid organizations still suspended and barred from entry, the final lifelines for food and medicine are being severed. The world is asking with increasing urgency, when will this terror finally end? The path toward a future where Palestinians can live their lives freely remains the central moral struggle of our time. To stand against terrorism and save humanity, the global community must move beyond rhetoric and demand the restoration of dignity and sovereignty for a people who have endured far too much for far too long. Turning to Eastern Europe, the conflict in Ukraine remains a brutal war of attrition as the nation enters a punishing stretch of the winter season. Throughout the 19th of January, the country faced a massive wave of coordinated strikes targeting its energy backbone, leaving hundreds of thousands across 5 regions in total darkness and sub-zero cold. From Odessa to Kharkiv, the strategy of targeting civilian infrastructure remains a constant threat. On the front lines, the fighting in Kupiansk has turned into a desperate street-by-street battle, described by defenders as a game of high-stakes persistence against a relentless infiltrator. Even as the national railway faces financial default due to the pressures of war, the resolve to free Ukraine remains the driving force behind a fierce national resistance. The struggle for sovereignty in the face of external aggression is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As we witness these parallel tragedies, we are reminded that the defense of human life must always transcend political interests. These crises in Palestine and Ukraine are a direct challenge to our global commitment to protect the innocent. We must stand against terrorism in all its forms and prioritize the preservation of our shared humanity. The yearning for a world where every individual can breathe the air of liberty is a universal right that cannot be silenced. Free Palestine and free Ukraine are not just slogans. They are the cries of a world demanding justice and a future without fear. Free Palestine, free Ukraine, stand against terrorism, save humanity. Thank you for choosing World Buzz Bulletin for your global news coverage.